Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Allah, the most gracious and the most merciful. Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Isha Shafiq and I am the student of BS Chemistry. Today the topic of my presentation is microplastic and nanoplastic. Here these are the points we will discuss in this video. Introduction. First of all, we will discuss what are microplastics and nanoplastics. Microplastics are plastic fragments of 100 nanometer to 5 millimeter, while nanoplastics are plastic particles that are less than 100 nanometer in size. Both microplastics and nanoplastics have been found to dominate plastic particles counts in various environments. Nanoplastics are more toxic than microplastic due to their smaller size and more penetrative physical characteristics. History. The presence of small plastic fragments in the open ocean was reported for the first time in the 1970s, and later in 2004 Professor Richard Thompson OBEFRS and his team were the first to show that microplastic particles nanoplastic discovered by American physicist Richard Feynman from sources dating back to the 1960s have been found in ice samples, suggesting microorganisms and organisms have been exposed to their effects for decades. Polyethylene. Polyethylene is the example of microplastic and nanoplastic. It is typically used for plastic bags and packaging. Types. Microplastics have the following types. Basically, the term micro and nano are like micro is the primary and nano is the secondary. So they have the same types like fiber. Fiber account for 71% of the total microplastic pollution in the Great Lakes. Microbeads. Microbeads are non-biodegradable plastic particles measuring less than 1 millimeter in diameter. The term non-biodegradable means that or substances that cannot be broken down by organisms, natural organisms, but they act as pollution, fragments, nodules, and foam. Next, we will discuss sources. Following are the sources, primary sources of micro or nanoplastic. First is tire, synthetic textiles, city dust, personal care products, marine coatings, engineered plastic pellets, and road marketings. And these are the secondary sources of microplastics. First is water bottle, second is soda bottle and fish nets, plastic bag. Next is microwave containers, tea bags, and tire wears. These are the sources that cause microplastics and nanoplastics. Here is the chart we will now. This chart explains the nanoplastic and microplastic pollution in this world. First, the blue one, which whose date is 206, pollution degree, source, distribution, and microplastics. And the gray, which has 20% impact on food chain and human health of microplastics and nanoplastics. And the orange is the effect of microplastic and nanoplastic on marine life and ecology. Yellow, that has 17%, is the effect of microplastic and nanoplastic on as an organic carrier. And the the parrot, which has 12%, is detection method and technology. These are the points here that are describing the effects and the sources from which we can control it. Next, effects. Microplastic and nanoplastic can impair cellular metabolism in both vitro and vivo models. Impaired cellular metabolism means the parts of or the cell of the body that cannot get enough oxygen. Vitro means outside of the body and vivo means inside of the body. Microplastic and nanoplastic can also cause DNA damage and inflammation. They have effects on human, environment, animal, and aquatic life. Effect on human. Microplastic may shows acute and chronic toxicity and carcinogenicity and developmental toxicity. Nanoplastic destroys cell membrane structure leading to cell death. Severe effects during process of biological interaction include damage of membrane structure. Microplastic can block the gastrointestinal tracts of organisms or trick them into thinking they don't need to eat, leading to starvation. Like it is the cause of starvation in humans may experience oxidative stress, cytotoxicity, neurotoxicity, immune system disruption, and transfer of microplastic to other tissues. Now we will discuss effects on environment. The surfaces of tiny fragments of plastic may carry diseases causing organisms and act as a vector for diseases in the environment. Also affect soil functions. As we all know that if the function of soil is destroyed or defect or affected by something, so it has effects on humans, plants and animals as well as on aquatic life. Nanoplastic released to environment results in absorption and leaching of environmental chemicals during their transport and transformation in different media. Effects on animal carry microplastic in their body. When they are themselves eaten, those microplastics are also indigested. Like if some animal have eaten microplastic material, and this that animal will be eaten by some human or by some another animal, so it cause the effect on that body on that animal also affect the human or the animal that has eaten that animal. Microplastic produce a series of toxic effects including inhibition of growth and development, impact on feeding and behavioral ability, reproductive toxicity and immunity toxicity. Effects of on animals are also very dangerous to the world. Like if animals are affected, then humans are also affected by this. Effects on aquatic life. Pollutant carried by the surface of microplastic ending up in the aquatic environment become food of aquatic species. Microplastic can have a toxic effect on fish and other aquatic life, including reducing food intake, delaying growth, causing oxidative damage and abnormal behavior. Effects such as reproductive toxicity, inhibition of growth, oxidative damages, inflation, inflammation, immunotoxicity, and change in behavioral ability have been reported. As I explained that if animals are affected, then humans can also affect by this. But if aquatic life is affected, then also human life affect, because human eat fish and human eat animals, so they are affected by these things also. Although microplastic also affect on humans by direct, but they can be affect on humans by indirect method, like by animals or by aquatic life, by environment. Example of microplastics are polyethylene, polypropylene, polystyrene, polyamide, polyester, acrylic. Example of nanoplastic is polypropylene, terephthalene or polystyrene. Like we can see here, polystyrene is also the example of microplastic and also example of nanoplastic. So these are the same things, like micro is the primary and nano is the secondary. Reduction: how we will reduce it from our environment. These are the ways we can reduce microplastic in your daily life. From our daily life, how we can reduce microplastics: buying organic clothes, change how you do laundry, avoid single use plastics, buy plastic free cosmetics, reduce shellfish consumption, use public or alternative transport, don't microwave your food in plastic, regularly dust and vacuum. Here can we can see that we can reduce by our methods, like we can reduce our shellfish consumption, plastic free cosmetics. In this way we can reduce it from our environment. Microplastic to reduce in the ocean. Reduce your single use plastics. Recycle properly. Participate in a beach or river clean. Avoid products containing microbead. Support legislation to curb plastic production and waste. In this chart we can see that it is the picture of the plastic cycle. In this picture we can see that from industry it is in filter in soils, sedimentation in lakes and rivers. Sedimentation, it is a process from in which water and the sediment are separated. From rivers it is discharged into oceans, and from oceans it is suspended and decompose into clouds, and from clouds to again on the earth. So the whole cycle, it is affecting the human life. From urban sites the plastic pollution directly goes to the ocean, and from ocean we can see that the whole cycle represent the plastic pollution. As I discussed it before, that plastic pollution, in that picture we can see that how we can reduce the plastic pollution and what are the causes. And in this picture it is describing the effects of plastic pollution, the whole plastic cycle. Thank you.